What's going on, YouTube? Well, I haven't made a video since 2011. I think the last time I made a video was I was unemployed at the time. I'd been let go from my job I think I'd worked there about 5 years at the time. Well, long story short, I ended up unemployed for about 4 months. Got a job working for a rental equipment company, being a field mechanic, driving a big F550 service truck. I did that for a year until I found out the management at my offshore job, the management had all left. They'd all quit themselves. So the guys that were running the place were offshore supervisors alongside of me. So to make a long story short, I ended up calling them back because it was better money and I did rather the job. And I called them back and they said, oh sure, we'll hire you back, no problem. So I've been back working there since August or September of 2012. So I mean, I wasn't gone very long from there, about a year and a half. But anyways, I've been back there. I've gotten married. I got married while I was working at the rental equipment place. Me and my longtime fiance got married. Let me kick this window unit off. We got married, bought a house. We've been in the house now almost 3 years. Bought a house. Had my first son, well, my only son at the time. He was born in October of 2013. Obviously he's 2 now, having a toddler, an infant toddler, 2-year-old running around the house. Not a lot of time for other things, but I have advanced, I guess you could say advanced far enough in life that now I have money to build my shop. And well, you can see it behind me, and I'll give you a tour shortly of my shop, my workshop, and what I do here, and what I do in my spare time, at least. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to afford this, and you know, this is my little away where I work on fans and the occasional piece of lawn equipment, just whatever, you know, I just tinker. Mainly fans, but I've got a few other projects cooking that y'all might find interesting. I don't have any old vehicles anymore. I did have, the 62 Chevy truck is gone. It's been gone. I sold it 2009, 2010, I think. Still getting people messaging me about that truck. It's gone. The last antique vehicle I had was a 67 Chevy Corvair, 4-door, 110 horsepower, power glide. Neat little car. It had sat up since 1977. I bought it a year and a half ago. I owned it for about 8 months, realized that number 5 piston was blown. That's the reason it got parked. And basically sold it and lost about 150 bucks when I did so. But that was my flirt. That was my flirt with old cars again. Now I might be picking up a 60. I think it's a 67. No. 70. I'm sorry, 70 Buick Riviera, 455 maroon. Nice car, been laid up since '85, but that's another story for another day, and I don't even know if I'm going to get it. I'm going to have to ask, you know, go to them with a cash offer and see if they'll take it. They might laugh at me, they might slam the door in my face, they might say, hey, come get it. You know, you never know. We'll see. The car was running, it got laid up because the starter was bad. So, anyways, regardless, like I said, that's what I've been doing. That's why I haven't been making any videos. I mean, you know, having a son, having a wife, having having people that are responsible, that I'm responsible for. You know, I have to take offshore work. I do work offshore. I work in the oil field, and I don't work a 14 and 7 schedule or a whatever schedule. I work my boss could call me in 5 minutes and I'd have to leave, and for an undisclosed amount of time. I don't know when I'm leaving. I don't know if I'm leaving for a week, a month, 6 weeks. I mean, jobs snowball. It happens. So that makes it really, really hard to plan things. But regardless of that, it's good pay. They compensate you for that inconvenience. But yeah. Anyways, I kind of got on a tangent. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's how I work, and it's good for the pocketbook, but not good for anything else. But it's good work. It is. It's good work. It's a good job, and that's why I went back. But anyways, down to the meat and potatoes of everything. I'll give y'all a tour around my shop. It's actually laid out, so we can't go in the yard and look at anything. But I mean, there's not much to see there, anyways. But anyways, I'm gonna show you around my shop, and I mean, it's don't get me wrong, it's a mess right now. It is a freaking mess. But you get to see what it looks like on an average day, at least. When I'm home to actually come in here and screw around, you know. All right, so let me pick y'all up and drop the screwdriver. Okay, so here's my workbench. It's dirty. That's actually a 3 horsepower Briggs engine that is going to be mounted. That's a brand new carburetor for it. It's going to be mounted on a replica Model T go-kart for my son. This thing has forward, reverse, brakes. It's a neat little car. It's all steel. If we can look outside, I'll show you the go-kart, if it's bright enough. But anyways, that's what that's for. Other than that, I mean, usual crap up here. Old computer, which used to be my shop computer. It died. Multimeter, you know, random fan shop tools. A couple of big transformers when I feel like playing with stuff, playing with high voltage. Parts. Got a couple of fans wall mounted up there. Chemical, strobe, big variac. Let's see, I got a little Hunter wall mount right here, which is an interesting little fan. It's actually got Century style blades on it, but it is a Hunter wall mount. It's, I don't know, it's a strange little bird, but I got it. It runs good. This is actually an R&M wall mount, 12 inch. It was a 2-speed, but I changed the head wire and goofed up the winding. It's a 2-speed winding, no capacitor or anything. It still runs on high, so I'm leaving it at that. I'm not chancing it any further. Oh, well, we got a mini fridge, beer storage. Gotta have beer storage, wall of beer. Another shelf up here with an antique light fixture, which I'm probably gonna end up parting out for the sockets to use on a light kit for a ceiling fan. A stack of buzz coils that were given to me by another fan collector who really didn't know what they were, and when I told him what they were, he was like, well, look here, you can have them. So random stuff. Emerson 6-wing hotel fan. I think it's a 32661. I actually have the blades, everything. That's the stator for it, all the parts. It's actually going to get hung in my breakfast nook when I finish it. Yeah. Random Hampton Bay or crap light kit, I don't know, whatever. 15,000 BTU window unit, which is necessary in South Louisiana in a shop. That's actually one of the wheels off that Model T go-kart that's broken. I got to order a new one. I can actually buy them. What else I got interesting down here? A silent air compressor I built. That is a refrigeration compressor mounted on top of an old Bostitch pancake compressor where the compressor actually went out. It's pretty quiet. I don't have it rigged up right now or I'd fire it up. But it's pretty quiet. It works reasonably well. It pumps up that tank in about 6 minutes to I think 120. But I mean, I have a good compressor in my shop, so I really don't have a need for it. But hey, it's cool to have. Anyways, furnace blower. I'm gonna throw some legs on and mount a switch and do all the things so I can I'll probably just sell it to somebody because people love these things down here. You put them on the porch and they just blow a ton of air. That big bastard draws 7 amps though. It's crazy. 100 pedestal fan motor. That's for Andrew Block whenever I get to New Orleans. Emerson Longnose, which is for a guy at work who actually no longer works with us. So that thing's kind of in limbo until I can hear from him. That's all I got from him was the damn motor. It runs. It seems to be in good health, but I mean, I don't know if he's going to sink the money to find a set of blades and irons for it and everything else to make it work. Chainsaw. 21 model Cushman Cub. Long story behind this engine. I'll cut it short. A friend of mine who was an antique engine collector as well. This was his engine, one of his engines. This guy was actually about 2 years younger than me. He lived less than 1/8 of a mile from his work on the same busy highway. He had a little house, him and his fiance. He would walk to work just so he wouldn't have to get in his truck and pull out. Shit, he said it was quicker to just walk than have to wait for traffic and pull out. Well, one morning he's walking to work and some guy was texting, they believe, or drunk, or both, or whatever. Guy swerved off the road and basically, I mean, killed him. I mean, I'm not going to go into more detail than that, but it killed him. Poor guy was walking to work. This guy never heard a fly in his life. Didn't deserve it, but I guess things happen like this. I'm not gonna sit here and condemn the man. But anyways, like I said, I'm gonna cut the long story short. I'm not gonna sit here and harp on this, but his fiance called me after he had passed and everything had settled and asked if I wanted the engine. So naturally I said, sure, I'll take it. I took it and it runs great. I'd fire it up right now, but as you can see, it's black outside, so I'm not gonna do my neighbors like that. But it does run, and it runs well. It always starts on the first crank, and I try to keep it as best condition as I can. I need to get a little cover for it in here, matter of fact. All right, so moving on. Let's go to the fan stuff, the fun stuff. LeJohn wall mount. This fan, interesting story. If y'all haven't guessed, I have a thing for wall mount fans. Interesting story. This fan actually came off of the USS Alabama. My dad had a friend of his that helped in the restoration of the Alabama. And he took 2 of these fans home. Well, when I was growing up, I got this fan when I was maybe 13. I had just started collecting fans. I'm 29 now. His friend said, hey, I've got a couple old fans. I'll bring you one. So he brought me this. It's the only LeJohn wall mount I've ever seen, but they still do make this same style of fan. Different cage, different blades for naval use, which I think is kind of cool. But anyways, it does run. It's got 2 speeds. The motor buzzes a little bit, but I've never been too concerned with it. I've never really broken the fan apart. It's not a great running fan. It doesn't blow out much air, but now that I have a place to put it and hang it, I thought it was pretty neat to put up. GE DC Vortelex. That is a crown jewel of weird right there. Naval fan. I say naval, marine fan. I don't know if it was on a Navy ship or not. It could have been on a civilian ship. Don't know. Fans, cage was pretty screwed up. It's been welded. It's broken again. But it does run well. I've got this vintage Cutler Hammer motor controller running it, which I call a motor controller. It's just a big double throw switch mounted in its original box, but I have a bridge rectifier in here. So the fan does run. Runs quite well actually, and I use it. It blows in me when I'm buffing or grinding or wire wheeling or anything to do with that, which works out really good. Because what good's a fan if you can't use it? Oh, let's see. This is my paint booth. Something I built. The exhaust fan came off of eBay It was some just little random thing that popped up on eBay. And what it does, it vents into the wall cavity. Well, the wall cavity is sealed off right here. Well, yeah, right here. I've got a 2x4 running across. This is an open void, and up here, I've got holes drilled. I think 5-inch-and-a-quarter holes with a little grill on the outside. So basically, the solid paint comes through here, through the fan, gets trapped in the wall, and then the fumes go outside. So I'm not blasting paint spray outside, which I think my neighbors wouldn't really like. I've got a fluorescent light at the top, mounted up there, several hooks, and at the bottom, a Lazy Susan. I've used it for one little thing so far. I need to do some tweaks on the ventilation system, but it seems to be working pretty good as is. Got some old license plates hanging, just random. I know I'm jumping around here, but I do have an air outlet right there, and I do plan to get some HVLP guns and start actually painting properly, guns and whatnot. Right now I'm just using rattle cans. All right, my big massive, well, I call it big massive, it's a pretty big air compressor, 10 CFM, 135 PSI, 5 horsepower. It says 7 peak, it's actually 5. I got this from work. Compressor head needed to be rebuilt, new pressure switch, new check valve going to the tank. I think I put a new belt on it, and I still need to get the air filter for it. I haven't used it much, mind you, but I got this for work from work for free. They were going to toss it, so I picked it up, and I mean, I'll kick it on for a second, but it ain't that loud outside. She works good. She works good. She's not the quietest thing in the world. I'd much rather a lower speed compressor, but, well, take what you can get, right? Anyways, that was 60 gallon, I think. Yeah, 60 gallons. And it's 220. So up here we have a Westy wall mount. It's, if I had to guess, looking at that motor case, I think this is a 50s. It's got this odd blade on it. It could be 40s. Looking at this guard, because it's got this guard that goes with that funky Westy triangular badge, which I need to find. Cool fan, different. I think I paid $2 for this thing. It was on the AFCA for sale forum. Dude was asking $2. I couldn't pass it up. I like weird shit like this. Got some weird bass on it. Non-oscillator. I took a little vintage switch, put it in line with the cord. It's got buzzy windings, but it runs good. Once it gets up to speed, the windings shut up. It's not quiet, but it doesn't need to be. It's an industrial fan. I mounted it there and cut it off. Alright, I mounted it there to cool me off when I'm blasting with my blasting cabinet. Another freebie from work that just needed a lot of work. I got a lot of this stuff for free because we built a new facility at work, and we didn't take any of our old tools. My boss wanted all new stuff. So this thing, the gun was all beat up. I had to get some new parts for the gun, and the gloves are actually got some holes in them and stuff, but they're all right for me. The fan wasn't working, I got it working. And the switch was out, that's right. But it seems to work well, at least for what I need to. The compressor keeps up with it okay. It's not, I mean, I can't just sit there and blast and blast and blast. I gotta stop and let it build back up. But I can blast for a good little while. And I've got some random offshore stuff hanging on the walls. Well, that's offshore. That's the plate off that Corvair, which I thought that license plate frame was hilarious. Dick Flick Chevrolet. Yeah, just some antiques, I guess you could call them. Waukesha big radiator plates off of a big Waukesha natural gas compressor. Pretty neat stuff. Let's see, I've got an emergency set down plaque for shut-in on platform with the little normal tag for the other side for when it's working right. Another Waukesha plate. Big caution sign in the back. But I've got a bunch of cool crap like that. I mean, I like hanging it on the walls. I think it's neat. Up here, let's see, I'm not going to get on a ladder, but I can see. I have, you got ceiling fan blades. There's about 4 ceiling fans up there, a couple of Hunter originals. Lots of project fans. That's what I would consider my good fan side. Like all the stuff I really want to get to very soon. A couple of G Quiet Blade pedestals and all my ceiling fans and whatnot. That's stuff that's going to get put up in my house and restored. This side is more or less just random projects. I mean, I've got a little G Quiet Blade vent fan right there, which is kind of neat. A couple of just dime store fans, an Emerson 73648 with a brass blade somehow. Old Hunters. I mean, I think there's 50 fans on one side and 52 on the other. That big Hunter's affair my mother-in-law got for me, that thing actually runs really good. It's dead silent. Box fans, and then if you can see, I don't know if you can see that, all the way in the back, I've got a 12-inch Hunter exhaust fan, modeled after the big window fans. But it's an industrial exhaust fan. It has no grill on it. And just real quick before I sign this off, this is pretty neat what I've set up. This little box right here, the switch box, is the switch box comes on at a certain temperature, goes off at a certain temperature. But this is a bypass. So if I'm painting or doing something that's stinky, soldering or whatever, anything with fumes, I can just kick it on at will, which is pretty neat. It's got the louvers on the outside and everything else. But anyways, my camera's flashing at me. Bad memory. So I'm going to give you one little shot of that little Model T go-kart and then I'm going to go away. And hopefully I can be a little quicker with the videos and come across them a little sooner and show you some of the cool shit I do. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's the Model T. Oop, get out the light. Anyways. Alright, well, I'm signing off for the night. I got some work to do. You guys stay tuned and hopefully I can come across with some actual good content for my channel. Peace out.